Hello everyone and welcome to this very special episode of the Crickball Podcast because it's the first time we do it in person. I'm down in Melbourne for work and I'm here with Nash.
Hey.
So yeah, we're here doing it for the first time together and yeah man, it's great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you in Melbourne.
Thanks man. Yeah.
Melbourne treated you with good weather today.
Yeah, it was amazing compared to Sydney.
Yeah.
It's been great.
So really exciting to do this together. First time in 3 years. Since we started 2021.
Yeah, because we're based in different states. So I'm based in Sydney and Nash has been all over Australia, really. Darwin, Hobart, now Melbourne. So I'm on this work trip in Melbourne, so I thought, why not do an episode together for the first time? So
Absolutely.
Plenty to cover on this podcast. For Australia, the big talking point for Australia has been Nash, Jake Fraser-McGurk.
Yes.
Why he hasn't been in the World Cup squad. He reacted and I thought, it was a great reaction from him. We'll talk through that. We'll talk through as well the players, their form in this IPL since they were announced in the T20 World Cup squad. And we'll touch on the IPL as well. So the first thing, Jake Fraser-McGurk. So I thought he was so mature in his response. He acknowledged that the Australian team is filled with talent, top order and middle order. I think that sort of mindset is going to set him up for a lot of success in the future.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, he really showed maturity there with his comments and the way he handled it. Everyone around him must have been calling him, "Oh, you're getting selected.
Yes.
He must have hoped that he gets selected. Obviously, any cricketer, playing at the elite level wants to get selected in a marquee event like the World Cup. So, but yeah. It was a bit disappointing for him not getting selected, but what he has said, the communication was really good from the selectors, and even comments from Pat Cummins, Mitch Marsh saying, his time will come. He's very young. He has a long way to go. He has set the IPL on fire. 7 innings, I think 300 plus runs already, average of 60 or something.
Strike rate. It's crazy.
Yes, last night as well, he had a brilliant innings, 50 of like 20 balls or something. I think I don't see him staying out of that green and gold for long.
I think he's got a mortgage on the opening position once Warner retires after this World Cup. And as I said last week, right, there's the Champions Trophy, there's the next T20 World Cup in 2 years, there's an ODI World Cup in 27. So he'll have that spot. There's no question about it. So it's just biding his time. I said last week as well that I can understand the selectors leaving him out. It's foreign conditions. He's never played a T20 international before. He's never played on the slower pitches that you might get in the West Indies. So you can understand in a sense why they left him out and the calls to have him over Warner. We also said that was never going to happen because no matter if Warner was in poor form, it was never going to be dropped. Right? And we had a comment on YouTube last week saying we were disrespecting Warner.
That's because we said he has some kind of dirt on the selectors.
Two things can be true, right?
Was a tongue-in-cheek comment.
I believe it's right to have him in the T20 squad. I think he's still got enough to offer in the T20 squad. But what we saw in his test form over the last 3 years suggests that he does have dirt on the Australia team because they would not drop him. Australia have dropped legends in the past.
Absolutely.
So that's where we were coming at with that. But in terms of Australia's chances, I think I'll sort of judge closer to the date and when the tournament sort of arrives, but
I think that's one of the reasons. And I think that's one of the reasons why Jake Fraser-McGurk wasn't selected is because of where the tournament is being held. Being held in USA and West Indies.
And
West
Indies, of course, who do you leave out in the top 3?
Exactly. Traditionally slow pitches, USA, it's still an unknown how the pitches and the grounds play there. So Fraser-McGurk doesn't have a lot of experience, playing on those sort of pitches.
No, that's
right. Where at the moment you have David Warner, Mitch Marsh, Stoinis, Green, Travis Head. All these players have a lot of experience playing on those kind of surfaces. So I think it was a no-brainer as such for the selectors choosing not to go with
sort of ease him in rather than throw him in the deep end in a World Cup. And Fraser-McGurk, to his credit, admitted that as well. He goes, the IPL and franchise cricket is very different to World Cup cricket, which is true. Can you judge a player's form, what he's going to get in a World Cup in the West Indies and the USA based on the flat pitches we're getting in the IPL, right?
You know what I think? A player like Jake, who is so young, 20, 21,
Yeah, I think it's 22. So he's
has all these players coming, even Indian under-19 players, and you got Raghuvanshi, you got Arshin Kulkarni who made his debut the other day, and I think these players have got this opportunity to play in the IPL, which is a massive opportunity in itself. Those who have played in the past have to really go back to the county cricket, go back to domestic cricket, play the KFC T20 Big Bash, the state cricket that was there back in 2006, 2005, and there was such a different landscape back then, such a different dynamic back then. I think these players are already rubbing shoulders with the greats. Fraser-McGurk I'm sure he's enjoying his time with Ricky Ponting, David Warner, Rishabh Pant, Kuldeep Yadav, all these amazing cricketers. So I think he's definitely not thinking too much about not getting selected.
And he also spoke about the advice that Warner's given him, because David Warner said, don't swing at 100%, swing at 80%. Think about your timing and the ball will go further. That's a wonderful piece of advice. So I think he and Warner have got that good relationship. And as we said, Fraser-McGurk is going to take that opening spot right for the next 10 years plus, because he's got that talent. And most importantly, I think he's got the right mindset. The way he spoke and his mindset after missing out on the squad, I think, is really, really positive. So.
Absolutely. And we discussed last week, who do you leave out? Really?
Yeah.
Who do you leave
out? You could leave out one of the seam bowling all-rounders in Stoinis or Green, but that doesn't mean Fraser-McGurk gets into the 11, right?
Yes.
Then you'd put him in the middle order, where he's never really succeeded in foreign conditions in a World Cup. So you're asking a lot of the kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't know if he can do the job as a finisher. If he bats for 5, 6 instead of Marcus Stoinis or Green, we don't know. He hasn't been tested there. He has been tested as an opener, so we know he can.
He's a top 3 player.
He's a top 3 player, and he has to bat in that. And like we have discussed so many times, his time will come. This summer, plenty of white ball cricket to be played in Australia. Big Bash itself. I think he's the future for top 3 for Australia.
And it's just this World Cup, I see it as, passing the baton on. I think Warner's going to finish up, right? So maybe a couple of others, you never know. The likes of Stoinis, these guys will probably be finishing up soon as well. So there'll be a transition period where Australia will have some young guns coming through the system as well. And Jake Fraser-McGurk is definitely one of them.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the T20 World Cup, your team, India, they announced their squad last week. I know you shared your thoughts on it. Rohit Sharma, his form has not been good. As Shivam Dubey, I think, scored 2 golden ducks since he was named. So the performances of the Indian players since being named has not been great, but Suryakumar Yadav came good with a ton. Talk to me about how you're feeling at the moment about, again, you've had a week to sort of dissect or digest, rather, the squad. Have your opinions changed at all?
Look, I think this World Cup, I was thinking, and we were talking before we started recording when we were at dinner, I think this World Cup, it's such an even tournament this time. You think about India, you think about Australia, you think about the West Indies, the hosts. It's such an even tournament this time. It's like, yes, India haven't made the right choices by not taking Rinku Singh, by not choosing.
I think eventually they've got to find a way to get him.
Exactly. Sure. I'm sure someone will get an eagle somewhere a week before the tournament. But even Shubman Gill misses out. Really happy for Jaiswal that he's there. Rohit Sharma shouldn't be there, but he's there. What I'm saying is, it's a good team on paper. So is Australia, so is South Africa. South African players have been lining up there. South African T20, IPL, Klaasen, Markram, Rabada. I think it's been really great watching all of them. We haven't even talked about Butler, Stokes, Bairstow
in that England team.
Brilliant
as well.
I mean, New Zealand are there and thereabouts. So it's an even playing field this time.
It is.
Now coming to India, I would say I'm not 100% confident.
I know after the ODI World Cup last year, you said India in the T20 World Cup. Forget that as well.
I think I said that.
Was that out of emotion or?
No, well, it was both, because I said that thinking Rohit Sharma will be there.
Yeah. Okay.
And if he's there, that's one spot gone. I don't think, to be honest, I would want nothing more than Rohit Sharma having a great T20 World Cup, but I just don't see it happening. If it happens, nothing like it. Absolutely amazing, but it's been 10 years since we've actually waited for him to perform in T20s.
Does he have the most T20 international tons? But I think overall as a T20 player, despite that, particularly in the IPL, I think he's underachieved in the IPL.
Oh, yeah, massively.
I think he's never had a real big season like some of the other players have, right? So he's always been middling around that 300 mark, 400 mark. And he's never really gone on to, and this season's threatened to go big at the start of the year with a improved strike rate, but it's really fallen off since. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can lead the side well on the field, but also particularly under pressure.
Yeah.
Because I was really underwhelmed with his captaincy in the World Cup final. I thought when Australia started to get on top with Travis Head and Marnus, I thought Rohit had to be more proactive. He had to get a slip in. He had to maybe put another man in the circle to try and get a wicket. He just let the game drift. So how many captains under pressure in this World Cup is going to be big, and his batting as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not confident about his batting. Captaincy is
he's the kind of player who can turn it on. That's why they keep picking him, because
that's the thing. We've been saying this for the last 10 years. He can turn it on, but he hasn't in the 10 years. So I think selectors should take a hint. Talking about the other players, it's like, yes, you got Bumrah, you got Kohli.
I think the player you need to step up in the big games is Surya Yadav. He's your X factor.
Yes.
One criticism of his has been, okay, you've done it in, throughout your career, but have you done it in the really big knockout games? And he hasn't quite done that yet. This would be a good time for him to do it to help break India's, 11-year drought for silverware in the ICC.
Absolutely. And I think the pitches might suit him.
Even if they're on the slower side?
Only because he plays all around the park. And given his T20 prowess, I think he's just going to go in.
I'm not sure. I don't know if the pitches are slow, I don't know if it'll suit his game. He's typically good on the truer surfaces.
Yep.
Because I thought in the World Cup final it was a slow pitch and he couldn't get
And that's why I say that, because I know we saw what we saw in the World Cup final, but I think he will move past that. I think he will come. I think he will come good in this World Cup.
Yeah.
It's the middle order that worries me as well. Not Surya Yadav, but who bats around him.
You got
Samson, you got Rishabh Pant, you got Shivam Dube. You got all these players. Hardik Pandya. Out of all these four players, I think there's 3 who will make the 11. There's 1 that will miss out. Whether it's Samson, whether it's Pant, who is the wicketkeeper that starts? That's the big question as well. Samson has been lining up the IPL as well, and Pant has scored but hasn't scored consistently.
Pant has done well. I think he's done better than I thought he would, coming back after so long out. Yeah. So they might go with him as the left-handed option there as well. But I agree with you in the sense that how do India get their 11 right out of this squad? That's going to be the big question. Can the selectors get it right for the big games as well?
Absolutely.
Because India got a tendency to go away from what was working well in the big games. They sort of get overawed by the pressure a bit. Like in the World Cup final, they didn't open with Siraj when he was a great power play bowler with the new ball. They opened with Shami and try to be desperate and get the wickets. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this tournament.
Absolutely.
But as you said before, a lot of great teams in this World Cup. And we get to see some of the lesser experienced nations on the world stage as well.
One upset here and there, and I think
it could happen, particularly that South Africa group.
Yeah,
like there's some big games in that group, right? So it'll be fascinating to see. So we look forward to that tournament coming up, and you're going to be there.
Yes,
so
I'm going to watch.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching a couple of games from the stadium in New York, and really exciting. Really looking forward to supporting India in stadium, although not my first World Cup, but my first World T20.
Yeah, so, nice.
Actually, no. I watched the last one in Australia. Sorry, I forgot. That was just a blur because of what India.
Yeah. It's just so much has happened since.
I actually watched the final where England won, but I just forgot.
Because England won, you want to forget it, right?
Exactly.
We don't want to acknowledge England wins.
And they played against Pakistan, so I've just blocked that memory.
Someone on Twitter commented that they forgot that England were defending champions. I think everyone has, right? Everyone wants to forget England.
Yes, absolutely.
Particularly how England win in the ODI World Cup.
No, but really looking forward,
England looks strong.
New stadium, New York, blockbuster. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Fantastic, man. And in terms of the IPL, that's really heating up now. The playoffs race is quite incredible with the number of teams on 12. The game tonight. So at the point of recording, we've got Sunrisers, Hyderabad and Lucknow coming up. That's almost like a playoff before the playoffs, right? You got both of them right in the mix. I spoke last week to you and I said that the top four last week of Rajasthan, KKR, CSK and LSG, I think will go on. So if LSG win tonight, I think that will hold true because of DC's pulling out run rate. But they've come good as well. But what are you thinking?
Look, I think there's... tonight when SRH and Lucknow go ahead to it, I think it's going to be a really blockbuster game because we got, like you said, 4 teams on up 12 points. Yes. Lucknow playing SRH tonight, then they play Delhi, who have really had a resurgence as well after a poor start to the tournament. Then they play the 9th place Mumbai. That is like those. I think these 3 games for Lucknow are going to be really important. The final 3 games, and then sort of the Mumbai game. I think the last one that really hinges. What I'm thinking is Mumbai going to hold someone's fate in their hands at the end?
So they hurt SRH's chances.
Yes.
A couple of days ago with Surya Kimiata. They're that kind of team, Mumbai.
Yeah,
absolutely. For me, the biggest disappointment of the tournament has been them, but they can still...
So along with Mumbai fans, my question is out of, let's say, CSK, SRH, Delhi and Lucknow, which of these teams' fans are going to be supporting Mumbai in that final game?
Yeah, interesting.
When actually Lucknow play Mumbai.
Could be CSK.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. But the downside for Delhi is they only have 2 games to go, whereas other teams have a game in hand.
That's right.
And those last 2 games are RCB and Lucknow. So RCB almost out of the tournament. They play, as we have seen, they play really unhinged cricket when they're in that position. They just don't care. They just go out and they suddenly turn into
just
prime Barcelona or prime Real Madrid.
Another season. Yeah, they just show what they're made of, but it's too late.
Yeah. It's
just too late. And disappointing for RCB fans, but sort of like it was a feel about RCB this season that they would not succeed. Only the most hardcore RCB fan will believe, right? But for us and for a lot of fans as well, we thought they were really short in the bowling department, right? So, and another disappointing team has been Gujarat. They currently sit bottom. I didn't think they'd make the playoffs, but I didn't think they'd finish bottom either.
Look, I think with Gujarat, yes, they're missing Shami, they're missing Hardik Pandya, but what they're missing is Shubman Gill, the batter, more than anything else. And not he's probably there as captain.
Probably impact from the middle order as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Haven't quite got that. Yeah.
And, we all saw what Gill can do at Ahmedabad last year, last season. He just absolutely smashed all around the park. He hasn't been quite that player this season, and like you said, the middle order has been nowhere to be seen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So those sides. I mean, Mumbai, Gujarat, they're out. Punjab for me, they're so close in so many games, but just can't get over the line. It's the same old story with them, unfortunately. RCB just about out of the picture. So wonderful race there with the teams on 12, Lucknow and Sunrisers. Be fascinating if Lucknow get a score on the board and see what Sunrisers do in chasing.
Yeah, the game starts in 3 hours.
That'll be very, very interesting indeed. Absolutely. So they're my 4 picks. I think CSK, Rajasthan, KKR, and LSG. I don't know if you think the same, or if you think Delhi.
I really think Hyderabad will get there.
Yeah.
My 4 picks would be KKR, Rajasthan, Hyderabad, and Delhi.
Oh, you got Delhi as well? Yeah. No CSK?
No CSK.
So who have CSK got left?
CSK have got Gujarat, Rajasthan and RCB. So 2 teams in the bottom and 1 team at the top.
Do you think that two wins out of 3 would get them in?
I think so, but
I expect them to win 2
I'm really hoping RCB turn it on in the final game. Because that's the rivalry, the southern rivalry, and it's going to be Coorey and Dhoni really going to be
fun.
Still
expect CSK to win 2 of those. They'll be disappointed if they don't, but it'll be very interesting to see. All right, Nash, it was great to be in person. Thanks guys for listening and for watching. Please do follow us on @CrickBlogPod on Instagram and Twitter. We do post a lot of our content in short form on those channels. YouTube, Crick Blog TV, we post the episode in full, and we also got those shorts as well, those snippets that you can catch there as well. So do follow us, subscribe, and leave your comments. And
we'll try to do this again. Hopefully, I'll travel to Sydney this time.
Always welcome, man. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night.